All right. So welcome to Motherish. We are celebrating our 200th episode today.
It's a big milestone. We're so excited. 200. Wow.
200 episodes. That's a lot of tears, a lot of laughs, a lot of learnings, a lot of growth, and a lot of fun.
Yeah, today we're just going to have fun. This is a big episode, but I think it's the most unprepared episode we've ever recorded.
That's great.
So
It's great.
it could go either way.
Yeah.
We read the books, we bought the things. We thought we were ready. And then life took our plans and changed them. I'm Karen, I'm Victoria's mommy, and I work in tech.
And I'm Pamela. I have a baby boy named Ford, and I'm a journalist. And although we're both first-time working moms, we're actually pretty different.
And that's totally okay. Because we both agree that our most important work is raising our kids. We really need each other and can only get through this together. Welcome to Motherish Moments.
Okay, so for our 200th episode, I felt that it was really important that we go big. First of all, I didn't even know that it was our 200th episode. Our coordinator, Maria, was like, by the way, this is episode 200. And I'm like,
You know what? I didn't think about it this morning, but last time I heard the last episode, I saw it on my
you saw 199.
199. Oh my God, the next one is 200.
Are you
Yes.
out of your mind? Yeah, so for our 200th episode, I brought us a surprise. And I know it's not noon yet, but honestly,
First of all, we didn't plan to wear a uniform today.
Guys,
You're watching this on
200
YouTube?
episodes.
Wow.
200 episodes. Okay, so we're going to
Pop a bottle?
hear this. We're going to pop a bottle. Yeah, I brought cups and everything.
I love that.
Yeah, we're doing it. Please tell them about our matching situation. Not like
Yeah, so if you're watching this on YouTube, which actually, please do. If you're listening to this in your car, go home and then watch us on YouTube. So we never plan what we're going to wear. Last minute, I ran out the house with a random outfit that I've been wearing. This is my go-to mommy uniform because it's comfortable, it's hot in Miami.
that's your go-to mom.
Why?
Bro.
Is this not a go-to mommy uniform?
I literally would probably think about wearing that outfit to go out and like that would be my peak going out outfit. This chick is it's my go-to mommy uniform. I'm I would dry clean that.
So last year I read, I'm not I don't follow I guess too much color trends, whatever. But I did hear
You're wearing butter yellow.
But I got this last year. I got this a year and a half
She's
ago.
I made that trend.
Yes. Anyhow, the funny part is that we never planned this. And Karen literally walked into the door and I was like, are you kidding me? Wearing the exact same color.
Yeah. Mine's a little
Vest.
bit more off-white, but it's a vest set as well.
And then we're both wearing sandals.
And we're both wearing sandals.
I'm not a fan of sandals.
That have the little thing in the middle of the toes.
I'm only wearing this because I have a pedicure after this, but.
So this is the thing in the middle of the toes, which by the way, I haven't worn that since I was in middle school. And so I just got these last week.
Is it coming back?
I guess because we're both wearing it. So there must be either we really follow trends or subconsciously no sé, I don't know.
So we also want to thank everyone that has been following us for
Yes.
so long. I always like to start these celebrations with a message
record me while we're recording.
of gratitude. And you have made this
recording.
journey so fun. And oh yeah, I'm recording. And it doesn't really feel like work, So thank you everyone for listening and supporting.
It hasn't felt like work. No, this is such a beautiful thing that we do. And the other day, I know we skipped our Motherish moment. Guys, this is a very unstructured, very chill episode. But the other day I was at a networking event that I've started to go to networking events now. It's
Yeah,
very
you do.
interesting.
You're adulting big time, by the way. I'm so proud of you.
Thanks.
Here.
So
Can
I
give me
went
a video too.
Yes. So I went to this networking event and it was hosted by these people who work
Cheers.
with podcasts and stuff. Yes,
Happy
cheers.
200th.
Can you hear the bubbles?
episode.
It's so good. It was supposed to be mimosas, first of all, but I didn't have orange juice, and I was like,
Oh, you should have told
F
me.
it.
I know, but I like those.
I know, but it was a surprise.
I know.
I'll tell
Thank you.
Anyway, I went to this networking event and there were these companies there, startups that help podcasts grow and stuff like that. And so they were somebody who knows me was like, oh, Karen has a podcast. And I was like, oh yeah, I have a podcast. And I was speaking so humbly about it. And then I said, actually, let me stop. Let me rewind. Delete everything I said. I have a pretty badass podcast that I do with my co-host, Pamela Silva. And we've unlocked some pretty incredible things. We're in a studio. We recorded at Disney. this year. I mean, we're like
By the way,
very legit.
I was in a lunch. This is so cute, really quick. And I saw someone that works in your job. And I was like, oh, by the way, you're working.
Oh, yes, Alfie.
Right. So I'm like, oh, Karen. And then someone else jumped in and goes, oh my God, from Motherish. So
Crazy.
I loved it.
So, like, I just feel like we have to take a moment for Motherish, take a moment for this podcast, because this podcast is not some like rinky dink thing. Oh, we just do this thing. Yeah, this little thing. No, this is like a real thing. And we should be very proud of what
Me
we've
too, I
done
am.
because 4 years of dedication, 4 years of coming here. I know it looks easy, guys. We're drinking it like it.
By the way, which is just like, I think, a metaphor for therapy. So therapy doesn't work if you just go like
This is my
a few
non-paid
months
therapy.
or like you know, you got to commit to therapy.
Yeah.
And we have committed
Yeah.
to this therapy. And I think it's worked for us. But we gotta be you're like, I don't know about that part. No, but it's a reminder about consistency, right? About how
Yes.
you have to be consistent at the
Yeah.
work. You gotta put the work into it. And it doesn't happen overnight. And
No.
the more you do it, you know, the better it becomes.
Yeah.
And
Mind you, this is hard, right? Like we both have crazy schedules. We both, I mean, now at this point, we're both co-parents, right, to our children, which means navigating a schedule in a very different way. We both work very demanding jobs. We both like to try to be healthy and work out. We both try to like clearly match the trends. Like this is so much effort, you know? But we're doing it and we've done it. And so one time,
By the way, I've been so excited to see you. I know it sounds so
we
cheesy.
haven't seen each other. It's
Karen,
crazy.
I want to say for like a month.
A month. Yeah.
She missed my child's birthday party. Not just throwing it out there.
I didn't have my child, and I was, and it honestly, I'll be real, it feels weird to go, like, I'm not ready yet to kind of face those kinds of things where I'm going to be like at a child environment where I see everybody with their children and I don't have my
It's
child.
tough. The first time
I don't
do
want
it is
to,
tough.
I'm not ready to do that.
Yeah. The first time
Sorry.
is hard. So I haven't seen you in a while. So I was so excited to see you today.
Yeah, me too. I know. That's why we matched.
Okay, well, we haven't done our Motherish moment.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
Go. Mhm.
So my Motherish moment is 4 turned 5. It was a big one, and he was so excited. I think this is the first year where he was so involved in all the details for his party. I think I shared this. He originally wanted a snake and lizard theme,
Wow.
and then I was not sold on it, you know, just for like the sake of people who have phobia for snakes and lizards. And a few of my friends do. So we ended up, you know, we negotiating with him and we came up with all sports. So we did like an all sports
It looked really cool.
pep rally
Yeah.
celebration. And, you know, I was like, you know what? I'm going to do something very small. I'm going to get a public park right by his school.
Yeah.
They could go after school. It's at a park. Great, easy. Then I was like, oh, maybe I will get like, you know, little stations for like they could like color soccer balls. So I have a dear for her name is Jasenia, from FT Colors. She's amazing. She's like, oh, maybe we could do, you know, slime station. Okay, I'm like, okay, maybe
Look
I
at
could
how
buy.
it elevates.
Yes,
I die. Look at
I'm
how
like,
this. I'm maybe do something at a public park.
maybe I
7
could
vendors
buy,
later.
like, little jerseys and like you know, because I'm like,
Oh, I saw that.
I love like the whole like pep rally and varsity
Yeah.
theme. So I got all these varsity jackets and jerseys and cheerleading outfits. Like, okay. I'm like, I'm not gonna do any decorations. Like, okay, maybe one little panel with like little balloons. And like, what if I put a locker? Like, you know, sports. Then we got a locker. And then I'm
Wow.
like, well, I gotta get like, he wanted a bouncy slide,
Right.
you know? So then we got the bouncing slide. My friend Marianne from Oakley, who's amazing too. She's like, yeah, they're awesome. They love it. Okay, I'm like, okay. I'm like, what if we get an entertainer? Like someone who like a coach to be like doing competition. So I had like the youth fair. It turned out to be, but it was so nice. And he enjoyed every single detail. He did like the dancing contest. He did the slide. He did the
awesome.
slime and all his friends. And every time a friend would show up, he would like hug them. And like he was so happy to see everyone. So it was a really big difference between his 4th birthday party and his 5th birthday party where he was like so present
Yeah.
and so grateful and just like so happy.
Yeah.
And the whole family, you know, the dad was excited. I was excited. It was nice. It was a really, really nice day to celebrate him and to see him enjoy it. So I'm glad that I didn't go with my instinct, like, you know what, I'm not going to do anything. Now I'm glad I did it.
Good.
Yeah.
Good. It looked amazing.
was fun.
And
We had
and
great
I
weather,
do think
too.
that as they get older, they're much more like aware of what's going on at the party and like enjoying it and like making it a point to enjoy all the things. So that's awesome. I love it.
Yeah, it was
Good.
nice.
So my motherish moment with Victoria is that she's very like, so she's much more aware right now of like the internet, right? And like social media in a way.
Really? Wow.
So she's kind of like, oh, mom, because she did this video for my job.
It was so cute. So good, by the
Yeah,
way.
she did this video for my job. And the reason why I wanted to do that, so my job was looking for somebody to help promote this like kids club that they have. And they're like, oh, we need a kid or whatever. And
Was this your mother's moment last week?
yeah.
Okay.
I talked about the details of it. But like what I'm trying to say is that now that she saw it on TikTok, she's like, oh, mom, like
I was
did you
born
give it a
to do
like? Like, did you give it a like? And I'm like, yeah, I did. So then now she's like, oh, let me see. When I don't see her for a few days, we get back together and she'll be like, can I see what you've posted? And I'm like, okay, which by the way, now I have to like, I mean, I've always put a filter of like, my daughter will one day see this. The internet is forever, even though, stories are not forever. They're everything, guys, everything on the internet is forever.
Yeah.
Don't let anybody tell you it's not. And so she like wants to look through my reels and then she wants to give it a like. And I'm like, wait, but you're on my profile. It's gonna be weird. Karen is giving Karen a like, whatever.
Yeah.
She's like, but don't you like it? And I'm like, that's not how the internet works. I'm not gonna like my own posts. And like, I don't know, it's just been very interesting to see her exploring and creating what a lot of people say is like their own universe, right? As they grow up, you are no longer the center of their universe. They start creating their own universe. And now she's making her own universe, especially, I feel it even more since I'm not with her half of the time, that like there's things that she's exposed to that I don't know about. And so like she'll come back and she's like singing some song, oh, this song from YouTube, and it's like some weird kid thing. And I'm like, I'm not ready for for you to know things that I don't know about,
Yeah.
So I'm feeling this sort of like, I don't know if the right word is like detachment, but it is you have a detachment as your children grow. So it's a detachment of knowing every single thing about her universe, which is kind of where I'm at right now with her. And it's beautiful. And it's a part of life, but also it's like,
I know.
ay,
It's like I think I shared this on social media. It's like the video of the lion. Did you see that with the cub? And it's like you are raising, the center of your universe who actually learn to live without you. It was like something. You kind of like you. Eventually, that is the point of
course,
good parenting, right? Like giving them the tools to kind of be like on their own,
good adults. Like my mom
create.
always says, I raise my children to be good adults. I don't know if that worked or not, but yeah, so I feel a little bit of that right now. As she enters this like 6-year-old, like we went to get manicures the other day and she chose the butter yellow color that I have on my nails, which I would never, ever do. But she just has all of these like opinions and it's based on things that she consumes that I'm not part of. Very interesting.
So I've been working late, I have a new work
Yeah.
schedule. So I've been getting out a little later where usually when I get home, he'll be sleeping. So I've been doing a lot of this spying through the cameras. Have you done this?
I don't have
So-
cameras anymore.
Okay, well, I have a camera and I actually put like a brand new one, which is amazing in his room.
Okay.
Like the audio is good, the quality is good. So right when like my mom is like tucking him into bed,
Do you speak through the camera?
I've done it once and like
I would
he was
freak out.
younger and he ripped the camera. He was really pissed. Like he
Yeah.
was really sensitive and like
Yeah, because
like
I
elation.
I
And I was like reprimanding him through the camera because I was like,
What?
I know. So I don't do that anymore. And I'm just like, listen, like Jesus is watching over you.
I'm so
I know.
scared.
And like we're just like, so I don't say that it's me, but like I do give him a sense of like, hey, God's watching over you, protecting you, and like Jesus watching over you. And then he's like, hey, can you tell he's like, can you tell Jesus to like not turn the light? I feel like when I move in the dark, like a little blue ring light, and then you tell Jesus to turn off the light.
Yo, tell my boy.
Oh. I know. I'm like, okay, I'll talk to him. But it's really nice to get like a glimpse of like their conversations, like
Yeah.
his concerns at the end of the day, like his questions that he has. I built like a little like kind of soccer turf field in my backyard. And he was asking my mom, like, how did mom know? How did mom told Jesus what I wanted. And, because my mom is telling him like, oh, like you were such a good boy. Like, is this what you wanted? Then mom talked to God and it happened. I don't even
That's
know.
wild.
I know.
But
So he's like, well, how did she talk to Jesus? Like, did she FaceTime him?
yeah.
Because that's how he talks, like, to me and to his dad.
Yeah,
like,
yeah, yeah.
They communicate through the iPad. My mom is like, my mom is so bad. Then I'm listening to her, like, I wanted to
You
say
want to
certain
micromanage
things.
your mom's responses.
But I'm like,
of course.
I'm just letting her let it go. She's like, oh, well, you should just ask your mom, like, but you could talk to God and you could like pray and like, he's like, but he doesn't answer back. So like all these questions are like actually more elaborate than you think they are, but they're really, really cute to see
Do we
like
just
how their
confuse
brain
the hell out of
works.
our kids? Like, okay, because like in my household, we don't have the religious narrative at all, and I've been one of the things I've been trying to educate her on is like money, right? Like this is how it works. And so she's like, oh, because she keeps complaining, like, hi, mommy, I don't want you to work anymore. Can you go back to that other job that you had where you could pick me up from school every day? I'm like, you mean no job? Yeah, no, I can't do that. And so she's like, so I try to explain to her, like, you don't want me to work, but like when we were doing our nails, I was like, this costs money. Like, this is how much money this costs. And so I guess she's like thinking about it a lot now. And so this morning she finally tried overnight oats again, guys. Like, yay. Years later. It's like a cycle. She tried it. I go, you used to eat this all the time when you were a baby. You loved overnight oats. And she goes, Mom, did it cost a lot of money to make overnight oats? And I was like, no, this is actually so cheap and like really nutritious and like whatever. And I'm like, why is she thinking about that? And I'm like, am I going too hard on this? Like, because everything you want, it costs money. I go, you turn on the light, that costs money. That's why I got to work and whatever. And she's just like, nah, I think I paranoid her. That's what I'm saying. Like, are we like, I think we're trying to like do good.
Yeah, I need to change the narrative on work also because he has a very negative, I think, connection to it because when I don't pick him up is because I'm at work.
Yeah,
So he's like,
yeah.
well, I don't want you to go to work. I want you to pick me up. When
Yeah.
when I have to miss something, it's because I'm at work.
Yeah.
Or because whatever it is. So I think he's like, so when can
Work
you work?
sucks. Like, yeah.
And then I think I shared this a while ago, and he was like, well, if you get married now, do you still have to work?
Oh, wow.
Right? So I don't know if he associates. Like, it's just funny how they make connections in their brain.
Yeah.
Like, okay, so if some moms don't work, is it because they're married and they don't have to work?
Victoria's
depends on-
narrative about marriage, I mean, like what she says she's going to do with Bill is that she's going to marry Bill. They're going to have 3 children, but she's like, I want to be the one to work because Bill's going to stay home and change the diapers because I don't want to do that. And Bill knows how to cook and he knows how to garden. So like, she goes, I'm just going to go to work and bring the money. That's her like long-standing narrative. Like up to recently, she repeated the whole thing. And I'm like, if Bill's okay with that, like Bill's a man, so it's great. Like
This morning on the way to school, Ford is like, I asked him, like, oh, how was playground yesterday? He's like, ugh. I'm like, he's like, what happened? He's like, oh, you're going to get mad at me. I'm like, why? She goes, well, Carlota and I forgot who else. I think it was Lily. The girls love to play Mary.
yes, we've talked about this.
Love to
Yeah.
play Mary. She's like, so, Carlota, we were playing Mary and they wanted to kiss me in the lips.
No.
He's like, but I was too fast. And I ran and I was too fast. But, they're playing Mary. And I'm like, well, so I didn't want him to like think that he can't tell me something. Like,
Yeah,
it was
of
like,
course.
on
Oh,
that
man,
moment,
it's so
like,
hard.
I was like the cool mom, but I'm like, okay, but why are you playing
I'm a
Mary?
cool mom.
I know, but it just shows you like they're watching us and everything they observe, whether it's like through a movie or through
Yeah.
us or whatever, they're like
Yeah.
they're like at the stage where they're like interpreting it, in their own terms.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just trying to like help him or guide him through like
It's
making
wild
sense of all these.
because yes, like it's one of those things that like that they're watching you, they're and I think in Victoria's case, like my mom always points this out, like Karen, she tries to emulate you, she tries to be like you, she looks up to you, and I'm like, I don't see that. Like I see her as her own person, individual, whatever. But the other day, my dad was saying to Victoria, like, oh, he was joking around with her. And he goes, I don't really know how to dance. Can you teach me how to dance this song? And he puts on some Carol G song. My dad's obsessed with Carol G, by the way. Like, all he listens to is Carol G. It's like, we're all waiting for the phase to be over. No, like nothing specific against Carol G, but like, in his car, on the
Yeah.
kayak, at work, Carol G. So he plays a Carol G song and he says to Victoria, es que yo no sé bailar. Can you teach me how to dance? And she goes, yeah, Vilolo, I can teach you. So she starts doing, she goes, look, you have to do this step and this step and this step, whatever. And he's like doing it wrong on purpose. He's like, I don't really know. And she looks at me and she winks and she goes, watch, Avilolo, you just have to feel the music. And that's literally what I say to her every time we have a dance party. And so I was like,
Yeah.
oh my God, she really is like recording in her little brain all the things that I say all the time, which is like, not to get so serious, but like, that's why we got to be careful about how we talk about ourselves, because especially like with, I mean, it's the same for boys and girls, because they will either see their future friends, spouses, whoever this way and have this language, but like, you got to be careful how you talk about yourself, because they're literally recording you. It's like having like the FBI. You live with the FBI. Your child is the FBI.
Ford has these little funny like comments, especially like from the dad. And even when I'm like acting up or like he's like, stop complaining, like, come here, get in the cuddle zone. Like things like even like little lines that the dad says.
Yeah.
He says it, not only repeats the line, but like the way he says, like the tone, like his attitude, he's like mannerisms, like it's just like it's wild to me. Like it's wild to see him like a little mini version of this person, like in your like
you're like you're here. Okay, I see this. Yeah,
and it's just like the same way that the dad like kind of discards me, like kind of like brings me down.
Yeah.
I just kind of like it works with the Ford too. I'm like, okay, like
that's so good. Actually, that's great for you.
yeah. Disarms me. That's the word.
Yes.
Yeah.
Let's talk a little bit about let's go back in time. Okay, so we started this podcast 4 years ago. We were I was in a very different place. The essence of me is still the same.
You know what? Today I saw a picture of you in your story and I was like, wow. I feel like it's the same person, obviously, but a different, like at the same time, it's like such a difference, like in every single aspect.
I know.
And actually this morning you put Victoria's pose.
Her pose.
Yeah, and you were posing in front of the mirror in the gym and it's just like, I don't know, I feel like...
What happened?
Nothing. I'm just like, I'm so proud of you. I feel like you're in such a good season right now, and I'm just like happy to see.
Thank you. Shit, I didn't expect that. I mean, it feels a little bit like, this podcast has had a front row seat for the most part to an evolution, right? Of me, not only as a mother, but as an individual. And I'm very open and honest on this podcast as much as I can be, as much as I find it correct to be. But I feel that I am in a very different place, and I feel that it's almost like somebody turned on the lights again. The lights were off for a while.
Yeah, I feel like when I saw the picture, I literally sensed like such a light joy, but light also like in the sense of like not that heavy like load over yourselves, you know. So I don't know, to me that the picture was very powerful and it just made me so happy.
Thank you.
So happy because I know that it's been a long journey, and to be able to witness the journey and to be able to see, like where you at right now, it's been really
I think there's I don't know if this happens to you, and I would love to hear if you share this, but there's certain episodes of Motherish that we've done over the last few years that are engraved in my memory, like certain moments that I'm like, I'll never forget how I felt when we were recording in that moment. Two of the ones that I have that are not so positive, but were kind of the foundation of growth afterwards. One of them was the episode that we did with Cindy from Chill House, where we were talking about self-care. And that episode, oh my gosh, like talk about evolution. That episode, we had to do it in Ford's like playroom, I guess, a TV room that you have in your house, because the internet was down in the garage. So we were standing at some like makeshift like thing. Do you remember that?
I remember this.
We were standing
probably
up.
where I was going live for work, like
yes, because
studio.
it was like COVID times. So they had come up. There's like some makeshift studio in like the TV room that you have in your house, and we were standing there pretending to be like, yes, we're the real deal. The whole episode. And it was like with my laptop and like a webcam, like just wow. And in that episode, Cindy, who's like the queen of self-care, was like saying all these things so graceful.
By the way,
and
let's give a shout out to Cindy also because she's
yeah,
been killing it. And
she's
like,
killing it. She's killing
I'm
it.
always so happy when we meet them and then we see like their growth and their success and like even like growing her family and her business and her brand. So
It's amazing.
yeah.
But yeah, so like, and you have always been a big advocate of self-care and like just, prioritizing your well-being and blah, blah, blah. And I remember in that episode, while we were recording it, standing in that makeshift studio in your TV room, I felt physically cornered. Like, I don't know how to describe it, where you feel like the walls are coming in and it's anxiety, right? Like the walls are coming in, and in my head, I'm like, I don't want to break down and cry out of nowhere in the middle of this episode with zero context to everybody because they don't know all the things that are going on in my head. And in my head, I was just like, I don't know if I'm ever going to get there. I feel like I'm drowning. I don't know how to get out of it. And a lot of it I did to myself. But that is forever engraved in my head as like one of the hardest and most vulnerable moments I've had on Motherish. The second one was with Dr. Shell. Shout out to Dr. Shell, where it was about like the sleep and blah, blah, blah. And like, even though she was
Dr. Shaw is a guest that we had that she specializes in kind of providing
postpartum
care
for
for mothers. So it's kind of like the fourth trimester.
She's a gynecologist who,
yeah.
when she had her own children, she was like, whoa, like we kind of like send you home from the hospital, don't see you until 6 weeks later. Meanwhile, baby is like every weekly appointment. And you're like, I'm hanging on by a thread. So she created kind of a support system for that gap. But that episode too, even though she was on Zoom as well, I was like, and I like the way I ugly cried in that episode, like, whoa, it was a lot. I remember my mom heard.
I think she asked you like one specific thing.
Yeah, it was just that it wasn't her.
Yeah.
It wasn't her. Again, a lot of this was like made, induced, in every aspect of my life. But I remember feeling like I couldn't breathe. There's so many times on this podcast where I could not breathe properly. Had I had the Aura ring back then, let me tell you, the Aura ring would have been like high levels of stress, versus restored, which is like where my goal to be all the time. But yeah, it's just this podcast. No matter what happens, no matter how long we have this podcast, we never know what's ahead of us. But this is a huge part of my life, and it will forever be a huge part of my life because it has documented so many, if not the most transformative time of my life up until now. We don't know what's ahead.
Yeah.
But it's almost like it's documented. It's all here, and the versions of me in these seasons are here. And I think back to them in certain moments that we've had. And then there's other moments that I remember forever that have nothing to do with me, but like, I don't know if you have like quotes that guests have said that just echo in your head all the time. Like one quote, which was from the mom that was an swimming advocate, a swim safety advocate
Nicole
that lost,
Hughes.
yes, Nicole, that lost one of her children to drowning. She said, we all like say, oh, we get so sad when they're growing so fast and blah, blah, blah. And she's like, you need to switch that narrative to be like, how lucky are we that we get to see them grow, that we get to see the years go by, and that, yeah, the time goes by fast, but we're so privileged to be able to witness it. And I think about it all the time. Like, that woman has no idea how often that goes through my head.
I think for me, it was a Valentine's Day, like our first time.
Jesus.
Not only because we were like really ugly, sobbing, like I could not even breathe or like get through my words. So we wrote our children these love letters, and they were so little and so young. But I always remember thinking, I want to feel this grateful and this in love and this overwhelmed with joy to tears about having or being a mom, having a child and being a mother forever. Like I never want to lose sense of that. Even in like the hardest moment where I'm like, like I want to like pull my hair out of my hair. I want to stay grounded in that sense, in that feeling that I think we were able to create with such a simple exercise. And I don't think I would have felt that if I didn't go through that exercise of actually writing it out and kind of thanking my son for this sense of like love, that I feel for him. So for me, that was a really, really important one. And I think I go back to it a lot and I listened to it and I meant every word. And it was like, again, like they were pretty short. We wrote these like short letters to our children. And
Which you
Victoria's,
prompted me to do, by the way, like the night before. The night before she texted me, tomorrow,
and this is, by
write
the
a
way,
letter.
this is before ChatGPT. I'm sure if we were to do it now, it would be like,
ChatGPT would be like,
actually-
girl, you crazy. Why are you trying to do this to yourself? My ChatGPT would
By the
tell
way,
me,
someone
like,
told me last night that you could screenshot conversations and ChatGPT will analyze your
I
relationship.
don't want to know under what context this came up for you.
And they're like,
I
she's like,
can't.
oh, someone goes, hey, have you ever asked for like therapy, like advice, like
Yeah.
counseling, like whatever from your ChatGPT? I'm like, no.
Go-
I'm like,
ChatGPT, I'm in a really weird place with ChatGPT.
you're like, I'm in a complicated relationship with ChatGPT.
I'm in a situationship with ChatGPT right
Wait,
now. Because we went down, we is me and ChatGPT as I'm holding this bottle. I went down a rabbit hole with ChatGPT around astrology, which I'm not like really big on astrology. Is that enough? Or I feel like you want more.
so you don't have to do it again. I mean, okay, that's perfect.
Okay, guys.
Okay, so what did you look
Wait,
up?
sorry. I don't want to derail this and talk about mi novio. Like my mom calls him tu novio, ChatGPT. My family calls him mi novio, ChatGPT. So anyway, I was like, oh, ChatGPT, let's go down a rabbit hole of astrology with me. Like, so I did my birth chart and then it was like, oh, like this, sign is like a really good match for you. Like it's giving power couple vibes. And I was like, wow, why? And then it was like, well, I feel like whatever like developers are behind the learning tools that they have put into this AI, it's almost like it's like that friend, that it's like, oh, you want to know more, but how about I tempt you with this idea, or because it was like, do you want me to tell you like how to recognize when your soulmate is like coming in your life? And I'm like, what? Like I felt like I was reading a BuzzFeed article from like 2010. I was like, sure. and then it gives me all these signs of how you're in the presence of your soulmate.
We could write this. Like,
And then hold on. It continues. It keeps going into like, oh, your perfect match is this sign or whatever. Do you want me to tell you a perfect date, like date 3 options of perfect dates of what you would do with this soulmate of like this perfect astrological like match for you? And I was like, yeah. So it gives me a daytime, like an example of a morning date, a midday date, and a nighttime date. And it's like, these are 3 different options of things that you can do with your soulmate who happens to be this astrological sign. And like, it's so amazing. And I'm like, and I felt like I was at the bottom of a tunnel and I was like, help, get me out of this.
I feel like we could provide that service.
Who?
Like we could come up with date ideas and plan stuff and like.
Listen, the date ideas were so cute.
No, ChatGPT is actually pretty fun, pretty scary. My friend
Me no.
who's about to announce that she's expecting baby number 2, I would not say who it is, asked ChatGPT like, what are some creative ways of letting my daughter, know that she's having a little sibling, and comes up with
Not
all
me trying to
these-
figure out who it is.
No, it comes up with all these like suggestions, and then at the end he's like, "Do you want me?" Like you could come up with like a card that says you have to be promoted to big sister, and it's like an actual ID, and then like these are the like I don't know like
They're like I can make
10
it for you and send it to
Yes,
Canvas.
yeah. Do you
Like,
want me to
yeah,
send it to
yeah.
Canvas and print it
so
out
great.
for you?
Yeah.
They do the whole thing. Like
I know.
we're gonna prepare a box, so she's gonna open the box, and this is all the items are going
Yeah,
to be
yeah, yeah.
inside the box.
It's
And-
really efficient. I don't think it's scary. I find it to be incredibly efficient and I use it in every aspect of my life at this point.
Hence, like, why are you going on a date tonight?
With ChatGPT. No.
And then another episode. I'm trying to think of another one that I think I loved. There's so many good ones.
Pero así que te
Actually-
marcaron, like episodes that you're like, I think about this all the time. Or quotes.
Um,
So you're saying
mean,
nothing I said
no,
left a mark for you?
no,
I'm
you.
just kidding.
Of course,
just
I
kidding, I'm
actually
just
quote you
kidding.
all the time. I do. I quote you all the time. Karen's like my favorite person to quote all the time.
What? Why? No.
Because I don't know. You have like, I like you as a person. Like I really do. I love you.
Aw, I love you.
No, I think obviously Nicole Hughes for me was a big one too, just because I remember actually this weekend we were at the beach at the pool, and I remember I was having a conversation with another mom whose kid wasn't as comfortable swimming. Like Ford's an
Yeah.
amazing swimmer, and I told her like it's such a game changer. Like
Yeah.
it's such a blessing to be able to like, and I'm still like always watching him, but just having that sense of like fear and like especially near like the water in the pool, it's like
Isn't it
I
wild
have
once
so
you
much respect
pass that
for it.
hump
Yeah.
of like being able to go to the pool with your child and not having to be like constantly like
Yeah.
every second, like, wow, man, that's a mile. Why are there not like parent milestones? Because there's like children milestones, but there should be like parent milestones. Like when your kid goes to the bathroom alone. Whoo!
Yeah.
That's a milestone.
Yeah.
When your kid can swim, and obviously you still have to be watching, but like you don't have
But
to
you
be
can
like
have a drink. Like you have a
you
drink.
could
You don't
chill.
have to be
like yeah,
before that, I feel like I was a
Milestone.
lifeguard. I'm a lifeguard. I was a lifeguard. I'm like on call. I'm like, babe,
put on my
watch, I'm
resume.
here.
LinkedIn.
Yes.
I was a lifeguard.
I'm ready.
No, actually,
I'm ready.
ChatGPT
And actually,
update my
I've
LinkedIn.
jumped for other kids too. Like at kids
Yeah,
parties.
yeah,
I'm like,
yeah.
is anyone not? He's getting tired. He's in the middle of the
Yes.
pool. Like,
Yes,
I'm that mom.
that's another milestone. What's another milestone you think for you? Like
I mean, for me, it's like when they could actually tell you what they want. Like when they could communicate. It's just like I'm not guessing what you want. Like
yeah.
the second they become verbal, it's like, oh my god, okay,
Some-
I get it.
I don't know. I feel like some of my exes would say like Karen still hasn't reached that milestone. No, but what about like you know how when they're babies like they have these like little moments where they stop breathing,
Yeah, like once you realize they're okay.
but they have like irregular breathing patterns when they're newborns. And so like once you pass that and then they're like normal, or you feel like you're not going to suffocate them and they're not going to like suffocate randomly in their sleep, getting past the like SIDS is like a
so scary,
milestone.
yeah.
I know, but these are real. Like I'm serious. These are milestones of like parents that we don't get to celebrate them. There's no little app for us that's like you passed this milestone. Like what was the app?
Yeah,
the
steps,
leaps or
the
whatever?
leaps, leap year, leap moments, leap something, leap torture. I don't know.
There
Because
should
then when
be.
they're not meeting, but why is my kid
Can we
not
do
sitting
this?
up?
Can we?
When my kid-
That's it. I'm gonna talk to ChatGPT, and we're gonna make this app together. Me and Chat.
Like celebrate.
We're gonna like
and we
parent
could actually
milestone
send you a
apps.
bottle of something.
Yeah, like
you could pop the
parent
bottle.
milestone, like a parent milestone app. Because like I see all these chicks that are like pregnant, they're having their baby, and they're like, oh my god, it's so great. And like I'm like, yeah, listen to Motherish. But like also I'm like, oh, you're about to go through this rough time, but you get through it.
But
And,
maybe
like,
you won't. But maybe you. I don't know. It's not.
no, some of it is hard. Let's
It's
not.
hard.
No,
I'm telling you, I don't even. I always think I don't know if I get amnesia, if I hit my head.
momnesia. She has momnesia,
all
but
the time.
having a child is not easy.
It's not-
Period.
It's not
Is not easy. So that's why I'm gonna make this app.
to celebrate like once you get over.
Yes,
all
because
those-
like what was it called? The wonder. No, what was it?
did you make me? Something made me download. I'm like, why did I download this?
I
And then
mean,
got
I
the
was like
book.
religiously.
I actually got the book where it's like
Yeah.
every week, every day, every month,
Growth
every
leaps.
second. It's like
God,
it's,
why can't we remember? It's not the champagne. What? That's so weird. It's not even champagne. It's Prosecco.
and it's like
but
I remember the logo and everything. It's like
yes, I'm gonna look it up. Wonder Leaps. No.
I don't know. Maybe it is. Okay, so another episode that I think was great. We had a lot of content creators that were
Yes.
really, really funny. I
The
think
Wonder Weeks.
humor for me has been such a good ally, such a good partner to get through some of these moments. So for me, a lot of the content creators that were, like Mother in Cuarentenas, Mamas en Cuarentenas.
Yeah. Beauty Bird. She was awesome. I love
she was
her. I
amazing.
still love following her.
So a lot, and we got to meet a lot of moms,
Yeah.
like Jessie, that
Yeah, Jessie Malay.
that we love.
Mother
and I
Could,
think-
who now is like
Oh my
about to
God,
her
Mother
new book
Could.
is her first book is launching. I'm super excited for her. Jenny Best from Solid Starts. Guys, we just like drop names like
Yeah.
drop.
The Solid Stars was great for us. We did
Yeah.
yeah, we literally, that was like our second like
Yeah.
Bible handbook
Yeah.
to like feeding our
Anyway,
kids.
I just wanted us to take a moment in this episode to celebrate. It's our 200th episode. That's, we've done a lot. So cheers to us. Cheers to
Cheers. I
everybody
love
who has been
you.
part of our team for these 4 years, because there have been a lot of people that have contributed to making this happen.
And to all of our guests,
and our
we're
guests, of
so
course.
grateful. I know time is so limited, especially when we're mommies. So anyone and everyone who has given us their time and really put their heart and been vulnerable with us, we are so grateful, and we hope that we continue,
Yeah.
to make this a safe space for everyone to join us. And sometimes they're sharing their stories, they're trying to make an impact, they're trying to promote something, but
They're
we're here for it.
hustling.
Yeah, we're here for it. We're here to support you, and I think this is what it's all about, like
Yeah.
moms being supportive and having a space where they could talk about certain things that maybe they don't feel they could talk about it anywhere else.
And our community has also been like the whole reason why we're still doing this, right? Every time that someone sends a DM and it's like, oh, I love Motherish, oh, because of Motherish, and and it just, I forget. The truth is that I don't have momnesia. I have like lifenesia. Like I just like forget. I'm like Dory. Like I forget. This is also why I don't really hold grudges, which is fantastic for me. But like sometimes I forget all the things that we do and the impact that this has generated with like people. And so, yeah, like just thank you for being here for us, and thank you for being the best partner in crime for this.
Did you do everything? Have you seen that trend? Is like the butterfly effect.
Yeah, had I not answered Pamela's DM, seriously, for real, had I
Well,
not,
you're not DM me first.
I had I not DM Pamela.
Yeah. She was like,
Yeah.
hey, if you need anything, I'm here. And I'm like, I'm fine.
She was like, you weirdo. And I'm like,
I'm
I'm in the
good. I'm
trenches.
good. I know.
Yes.
Like, hey, if you need something, like, call me back. I'm like, okay. I'm like,
I didn't even know her.
I said,
You
hand
guys-
out my child to my night nurse. I'm like, yeah, I'm fine.
The night nurse is like, but she can call me.
I'm kidding. But no, it's been great.
She's not kidding.
But it's been great, and I'm actually really excited for like what's coming ahead
Yeah.
for
What's
both
coming
of us.
ahead?
Better things.
We don't know.
No, I think
Can you
we're going
ask
in,
God?
No, I think
Jesus.
we're going into the season where we are really like getting a better sense of who we are as women.
Yeah.
And not really
Motherish in the 40s.
yeah, in the 40s, but also like we have
Aren't
these
you happy I could say that
independent,
now?
like everything that we have poured into our children to make them independent and kind and disciplined and whatever they are, and wild and crazy.
Sassy.
A lot of it is they're on their own.
Yeah.
Even though they're 5 and 6, they're on their own. Like when they're not with
They're
us.
5 and 6.
And now we have this time for ourselves where we are like,
Doing the
finding
work.
ourselves again. Yeah.
Yeah. Love
So
that.
cheers to us.
Cheers to Motherish. Thank you guys.